my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutlet. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you want to fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock. Rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah.
New sound. Does everybody know the title, the Passover song?
Huh?
Do you know the Passover?
Cancel?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay. Good to go?
Yeah, you should.
All right, so we got some sound. All right, so thank you for joining again here at ISBHPK. We're here out of Norfolk, Virginia. And for those that may have been coming to our class in Norfolk, we're definitely, they closed down, they shut Norfolk down a little bit. So if you need the address, hit us up and we'll get you the direct address to where you can come and get class. Hopefully there's sound if everybody can hear me now. All right, you can't hear me. There it is, perfect. And as we know, Houston has been shut down. So we're going to be airing class here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, all right? So definitely get the link out, share it with your family, because this is the perfect time to get these classes, So for more announcements that we have, Passover, obviously we know there's going to be definitely pushed back, and we'll have further information regarding that later on, dealing with Passover, due to the extension and extending of all these different regulations when it comes to state. So we definitely want to get brothers and sisters caught up dealing with that. We also have just other areas to get this word spread. Priest Mashaba, he has his Blog Talk Radio at blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba, MASHAHBA, and this is every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. All right, so you can catch him on there if you want to get class during the day. The brother's outside. Okay, yeah. If you want to hit him up on there, you can definitely look online or via your phone. You can look on podcasts, and you'll be able to go ahead and get into those classes, man. Good classes by Mashaba. You got Tazapah in there. You have a lot of good brothers that's been dedicated for many years, putting in his work through the word, all right? If you need to reach any of the priests, We have Priest Kazakia. His number's available. You'll see it on the screen, as well as Priest Kwatazop. All right, so I know the call's been coming in. You know, there's been a lot of questions. So listen, hit us up. That's what we're here for. All right, and as well with our business, Sweet Ambiance. You know, due to the fact that we're not in the malls, listen, you can definitely still support via online, and we're still shipping. I've already got confirmations on boxes already being dropped. You know, so those that have the subscription boxes that subscribe every month, they're loving it. And if you want to as well, again, it helps with the upcoming bills that we're going to have and just the continuing of this truth. You can look us up on sweetambiance.com. We have a lot of things on there. Hit us up, and we can definitely take care of you when it comes to that smell good side. Our logo, our slogan is everyone should smell as good as we do. You know, so check us out. All right. For everything else, listen, we greatly appreciate y'all looking, paying attention to the YouTubes. For those that's been giving the books, all the alms, we greatly appreciate it. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and open it up for questions. All right. Yeah. Hopefully, Mustafa, you enjoy that box. So check us out. All right. So I know there was some goodies in there, man. It was a good box this month. Technically, all months they're on point. All right. So go ahead and get your questions in. If not, we'll go ahead and go into this class. All right. You good to go, Jeff? Good? Okay. Cool. All right. Yep, Smell Good Box is official. Come on now. You know, so. Yes. And as well, just to let y'all know, too, just while we let everybody log in, we have a lot more channels, all right? So we have a cable show channel, which is going to be The Hidden Truth. That should be a link. Attached to that on the page for that. All right. We also have a 5 minutes of wisdom that you can send to your friends, your family. That's a little quick, burst of knowledge.
We're going to actually be putting something out on there also. So, yeah, look out for that very soon.
All right, and we have one question.
Yeah.
And the question is from IR Jazzy. It says, we are currently in Feast of Unleavened Bread, correct?
No, it starts on the 6th. I'm looking at your phone. I'm looking at your phone like, yeah. No, it starts on the 6th. The 6th sundown is going to be the beginning of the Passover, right? Mm-hmm. So remember, they're fluent. So the Passover starts at sundown, and that night also Feast of Unleavened Bread starts. So that's going to be on the 6th.
This is going to be Monday.
Right, which will be Monday. All right, what else we got? Trying to get the link out.
Okay, so that's time. We got Jermaine has a question. I have a general question on how Yeshua became Yahawashi.
Yeshua.
Yeah. Yeah, Jermaine, if you can
be a little more specific. Well, what do you mean Yeshua became Yahawashi? I'm not understanding. Be a little more specific on that. Be a little bit more specific. Let's see what, before we start into class, let's see what he's talking about before we go to the next question. How did Yeshua become Yahawashi? Who's Yeshua?
Oh, okay. Oh, the translation of Christ's name.
Well, Christ, right, which is the Greek translation, which is anointed, right? So remember, Yahawashi was called by different names. So, Yahweh Shai means he who saves. So we're calling him the one that saves. When you hear brothers call him also Mashiach, which goes back to Christ, which is Christo, which is anointed. Okay? Now we know, hopefully I don't have to go through a whole, one is English, one is Greek, one is Hebrew. I'm just answering your question. Remember, Christ just means anointed. So when you go into the scriptures, we know that there's no such thing as Jesus Christ, but there is such thing as the anointed Savior, which means Mashiach or Hamashiach, right? So Yahweh Shai just means he who saves. That's what that means. Yeah, remember, Yahweh Shai was called many different names. He was called the branch. He was called the
Lamb of God.
The Lamb. He was called, right.
Judah.
Right. So these are all titles that Yahweh Shai had. We know he was the anointed Savior. That's what we identify him as and what he was going to do for his people. So, but when a brother calls him he who saves, that's not a wrong title. Or if somebody says the anointed, that's not a wrong title, because those are all titles that the Most High gave him in the scriptures. So, what is this question again? To make sure I hit on the point.
It says, I have a general question on how Yeshua became Yahweh Shai, the translation of Christ's name.
Right. So, I don't know what you mean by Yeshua. There's no such thing as Yeshua in Hebrew. There's no you in Hebrew. So, that is a bad translation of Yahweh Shai. Or like you have Jehovah, right? Jehovah is the English translation of Yahweh. So there's no such thing as Yeshua. We never called him that. He was never known as Yeshua because there is no dialect as far as Hebrew. There was no you in there. If you're talking about modern Hebrew is not Hebrew. The dialect that we have today in modern is a mixture of English, Spanish, German, French. Yeah, it's a mixture of dialects that they put in, and that's the modern day Hebrew of what they have, right? So what we do is we go by the more ancient dialect, which is Abagada Hawaza Khataya Kalamanasa Ipataza Rashata. So there's no you, there's no what else they got in there? Just the whole dialect of the modern Hebrew. They say Aleph, Bet, Gemel, Zayin, Kin. They say the whole dialect is different. So if we're talking about dialect, that's one thing. If we're talking about the original, that's another thing. So when you say Yeshua, I look at people like I never heard that, because that's some made up thing that cats made up. That ain't got nothing to do with Hebrew, as far as the Hebrew Israelites. As far as we know that we have an actual formed language and a formed dialect. These variations are sometimes bad variations. So what variation are you talking about? We only read and know about the variation biblically. So what biblical variation are we dealing with? You can either call him the Savior, you can call him the Anointed, you can call him the Anointed Savior, you can call him
the bread of life.
The bread of life. You can call him
the way, the truth, and the life.
You could call him the Word.
God.
Right?
Almighty.
Right. You could call him what?
Consolation.
The consolation. Like there's many titles that Yahweh Shai had, but we know that the one title that sticks out is the Anointed, or He Who Saves. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, you got it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, what else we got here, y'all? There's still no sound?
There's some.
Oh.
No, there's
Okay. Oh, I'm looking at old text from Quatsal. My bad.
Excuse me.
All right. So whatever other questions y'all got, what do we got?
They said, did you guys start the Hebrew class, or when is that going to begin?
Let's go. We started and we have some basics of Hebrew already online, and the reason why we let off on it is because we were waiting for consistency. And now that we do got it, there's a lot of brothers that do come to class, Hebrew class, consistent. Maybe we can be more consistent with that now. But before, it was brothers barely coming to Sabbath class. They pill in when they want to. And then we would have to keep repeating the basics over and over again. So what we did is we put the basics online, okay, and she could throw some links in there and look them up for you. We did a lot of just the symbols, the pronunciation. We did the writing, of course, of those symbols, what they represented. We've got a lot of Hebrew classes on that. What we need to do is I'll go in, I'll find them, I'll chop off all the other Sabbath 8 hours Sabbath class, and I'll put those Hebrew classes just for us online. All right, because what happens is you probably got to go and skip all the way through Sabbath class, which usually back during that time was a good maybe 5, 6, could be 7 hours. So I'll chop it up, put it back on there for y'all. All right, what else?
That looks like it right now.
Yeah.
That is it.
Y'all got any other questions? Now's the time. We'll wait a few seconds. If nobody got anything, we're going to dive into this topic. Do me a favor. Make sure you put the link of the news in there. Put the link of the Hidden Truth Bible Show in there. We just dropped a new one. Once again, I'm going to keep saying this. They are not, when you, even the brother Lewis, when we launched, when we loaded up our new show on the Catholics, he didn't get it. It doesn't pop up. You know how you subscribe, it gives you the email.
Got it.
They're not doing that. So, we got some?
Yeah, it's one question. It's
So y'all gotta do me a favor. Get the video out. Let's get the views. You know they're doing their restrictions or whatever they're doing on these classes. So let's just share them. Let's get them out. Yeah.
This is a question from Dorothy. She
Uh-huh.
said, Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Right.
Do I have to get rid of my eggs? Question. Is it okay to have my neighbor hold my cake and pancake mixes?
Listen, for zeal's sake, we got to think about what time we're in. All right. So, sis, we understand, and I know Dorothy's situation. You might not have a lot of money, sis. If you can't replace it, you can do that. You know, usually we throw it away. But if you can't replace it, you know, remember, the Most High understands what situation we're in. When we were during the time of Masada, and we ran up, wrong event. During the time of the Maccabees, and we were getting slaughtered by the nations on the Sabbath, we had to come together and say, wait a minute, if we don't fight, then we won't be here to worship or serve the Sabbath. So the Most High understands your situation. You ain't got food in the house. You can't just throw your food out, and then you'd have to, especially in this pandemic situation, that won't be wise. So use wisdom. You know, put it aside. Don't eat it. Don't eat none of the stuff. Don't eat anything with yeast or leaven in it. All right. But the Most High gave us wisdom. He knows what situation we're in. We're in a time of it's a lot of things going on here that we got to use wisdom and we got to use wise. You're a sister by yourself, and she's an older sister by herself. You can't just throw all your food out like that. All right. What else?
That's it.
All right. Once again, y'all like the video, so we can keep this channel pumping. We can try to get up there to 1,000 views and all that stuff. If that's it, nobody got anything?
Yeah, we got 34 people watching, so we should have 34.
34 thumbs up, yeah. What else we got? That's it?
That's it.
Nothing else? All right, let's go into this class.
All right, so the topic for today, we're going in, are you prepared? You know, do you have your oil, as the scriptures will relate to? Because even in this time right now, you know, the Most High has been very merciful. We've been going over that. But as well as that, are you prepared for what's coming forth? Are you prepared for Christ whenever He comes? Are you prepared for the said prophecies that's coming in the Bible?
You know what? And you would know if you're prepared now. If you got that mind of, okay, I gotta be wise. A wise man foreseeth the evil. That type of mentality doesn't just start out of nowhere.
Right.
You had to have practice it.
Right.
So the question is, were you prepared before? Right? That's right.
Right.
I mean, were you prepared before? Because if you didn't practice before being prepared mentally, spiritually, then really the class is going to rip into you. It's going to cut into your spirit to show you that, like, you weren't prepared. You're not the type of person that practice preparation in any manner, right?
Okay.
So then are you going to be prepared? I mean, to answer your question, are they going to be prepared if they never practice preparation?
No.
No, I mean, you know, so you should be asking yourself those questions. Were you prepared? Are you now gearing your mind to practice and be prepared for the long haul? Right? We all thought, oh, April 20th, you know, this is going to be back normal. Now they push it 3 months out.
Right.
They pushed us to January 10th, June 10th, excuse me. Now, you see they messing around with Iran, right?
Behind doors.
You see what's going on in New York. Bro, people are dying over there like crazy,
Fly.
right? So when is this going to catch up to these other cities, right? Because Virginia just shut down totally. Like, it was open. So that means that everybody that get tested, if for some reason when they get tested, now it's more people sick.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as they get the test, more of them are dying.
Right.
So when they get tested and then it starts creeping in these other cities, how long is this going to take? How about if it takes to the end of the year? Right?
Technically, that's what they said. For it to be eradicated is 18 months. It said 18 months for it to be completely eradicated.
Are you prepared to sit in your house, sit around your rib, sit around your kids? You see, America is not, they don't know how to deal with anxiety. Excuse me. They don't know how to deal with anxiety. They don't deal with anxiety, bro. All through, you know, they show one chick in New York who's just dealing with the anxiety, you know, going home, and it's like
uncertainty.
Yeah, the uncertainty. They don't know how to deal with that. So, going back into, are you prepared? Have you prepared yourself before?
And with that, we're going to go into, you know, just a parable. And this parable hits it right on point. We're going to go into the parable a little bit more and look more in depth. Matthew chapter 25 and verse 1. Going in about the 10 virgins. And looking at it, because it's extremely deep when you look at this parable. There's a lot that you can pull out from it. We're going to start at Matthew chapter 25 and verse 1.
Come. Matthew chapter 25, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins.
Yeah, so Yahushua is dropping this parable about the kingdom of heaven is going to be likened unto 10 virgins. All right? Keep reading.
Which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
Which took their what?
Which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
So I'm going to pose a question. What's the lamp? What is the lamp? Because, you know, these parables, these fables, they have a meaning within it. What is the lamp? Go to Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23.
Now, all these, we have to remember, these parables were sent out for a reason. And this is why it trips me out when they say, oh, the parable that when Christ was talking about Lazarus wasn't real. Okay, so the parable that he drops about these virgins wasn't real. And we know that's a lie.
Right.
Because every parables that Yahweh Shai has given us, he's given us so we can be pre-prepared, right? Way ahead of time.
Right.
Right? To give us the wisdom and understanding of what's going to happen. I keep saying it. We don't have to look in a crystal ball. You don't have to get yogi eggs and what's the
Chicken bones?
Chicken bones or
the wands
or
you gotta hit your
the
board, the Ouija board.
You don't have to do all that. That's stupidity. All you have to do is read. The Most High gave you 2 eyes. All you have to do is read, be humble, and understand that the Most High already gave us the wisdom of the things that was going to come. This is specifics on these times on how we supposed to have been prepared. So pay attention to the details.
Okay. Proverbs chapter 6 verse 23.
Go ahead.
For the commandment is a lamp.
For the what?
The commandment is a lamp.
Yeah, so we see that the whole Bible is the lamp. The lamp represents the Bible, the knowledge, right? Read.
And the law is light.
Yeah, and the law is light. So we're seeing that when it goes back to these versions, they said they had their lamps referring back to the Bible, referring back to the law. Read.
And reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
Yeah, and the proof of instructions are the way of life. Like it says in Timothy's, that the Bible does that. Reproves, corrects, right? So we're seeing that these versions, they had certain things. Everybody had the 10 virgins had the Bible. They had the knowledge, right? Jump back to Matthew 25. They had the knowledge, and I want to bring this out at the beginning just to show that there was a difference between, as we go down, the wise and the unwise.
Right.
Where you at in Matthew 25?
Verse 2.
Go ahead.
And 5 of them were wise. And 5 were foolish.
Yeah, so you had 5 wise virgins, and you had 5 foolish.
So the Most High is already telling us ahead of time, you're going to have some dummies amongst us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Most High already told us you're going to have some dummies amongst us. People, sottish children, that no matter how much wisdom they get, and as we go into the point, that you're still going to see these people not use the wisdom.
Oh, bro, that's why you got to look up the definition of foolish.
Give
this you got the definition?
No.
Okay. You got it? Okay, go ahead.
It says void of understanding.
So these people who didn't use the commandments or the application of the word, they were void of understanding. So we got to see that these are the type of fools that are still amongst us. You got to make sure that this isn't in you. You're not void of understanding. Go ahead.
It says weak in intellect.
Ooh, right.
Are you using your brain to get out of a situation? Are you using your brain and what the knowledge taught you to get into a better situation?
Well, a fool won't.
Right.
Because a fool doesn't listen.
Right.
They won't hear. They won't receive advice.
Right.
They won't receive correction. They're a fool.
That's why they're weak in their intellect.
That's why they're weak in their intellect. Yeah.
What else you got?
It says acting without judgment or discretion in particular things.
Right, because they don't take the advice that was given to them.
Right. That means that when somebody was checking their judgment and checking how they're moving, right, they didn't take that because they were a fool, right? A foolish man won't be reproved.
Right.
So now we're getting what made these guys foolish. You know, and obviously we could go into a whole topic just on that. Like, right? Go ahead.
Wait a little bit.
Go ahead.
Oh, was that it?
It says proceeding from folly, silly, vain, trifling.
So you had these trifling ninjas right here, right? And these were individuals that didn't take heed of the word. Yeah. They took light of the commandments of the advice that was given to them. You know what I mean? And look at the situation that it was in. Look at the scenario, the scenario that we're dealing with right here. Now, do you want to be dumb and do you want to be trifling in this type of situation? This pandemic that we got going on?
Wow.
Is now the time to be void of understanding?
We're going to have to let Quatzazop get into some of these classes. We're going to have to figure out how to get him on...
Get him on the phone?
No, get him on Skype. We could put him on Skype and put him up there. I know he wanted to say a few things on this. But, you know, this is real because now this topic is like it's gonna punch you in the face. Because now, as you see this, as you see all these years of wisdom, studying, learning, trying to practice and preach the right thing and do the right things, you know, and keep yourself from Satan, you had to. It was hard. It's hard work.
Mm-hmm.
But the practice made you get better.
Yep.
It made you strive and be perfect.
That's what they say. Practice makes perfect, right?
Right.
But you can't strive for perfection if you're not practicing.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
the years that we're studying, we're trying to learn how to apply the word, taking heed to counsel. That's for times of now.
Right.
Like when you read further in the story, they were preparing their oil. They brought their oil. They were gathering their oil, and they were gathering the lamp for their oil, for the light, right? For when the bridegroom came.
Right.
And that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Right now in this situation.
Right.
I don't want to jump the gun.
Yeah.
You ain't jumping.
Go ahead.
But where you at?
Verse 3.
Go ahead.
They that were foolish took their lamps.
They that were what?
That were foolish took their lamps.
Yeah, so they took their lamps, read.
And took no oil with them.
Yeah, but they didn't take no oil. So what does that say? Like the points that y'all were hitting on. Go to James.
Yeah.
James 1:22 is that they weren't prepared.
Right.
They didn't have the things. They didn't have that oil that obviously Christ required.
Yeah.
Or this groom required to have.
Right. They had the lamp.
They had it.
Yeah. You were sitting around.
Yep.
You had a notebook. Right.
Come on. You had eyes.
You had eyes. You had ears.
Yep.
But there was something that was left out.
Right.
You know, and that's what this topic is about, reminding us that we gotta really understand, man. This ain't, the Bible is not church.
Yeah.
It's not what religion told us that. And a lot of us, we functioned that way before. A lot of us were hypocrites. A lot of us were in that mind. But when you became a man, you got to put away the childish mind, the childish ways, the ways of the world, and say, nah, I'm not going to be what I talk against. And a lot of times, us as people in the Word, that's where that hypocritical thing comes in. Is because you're not really doing what you're saying. People see that. People look at that. This is what makes you a fool. This is what makes you unprepared. And we got to really watch this, man, because this is about your soul. This is about your spirit. And the Most High saving your spirit. Go ahead.
Read where you at?
James chapter 1 verse 22.
Go ahead.
But be ye doers of the word.
Be what?
Be ye doers of the word.
Because all 10 virgins had the word. They had the book. They had the instructions. They understood what was needed from the groom. What his requirements were. The same thing with the Most High to us when it comes us being wise and foolish. We know what the Most High requires. We got the word. We hear it. It says, be ye doers of the word. Read.
And not hearers only.
See, but that's a lot of times the issue. A lot of times we just hear it and we cast it away. It goes in one ear and out the other. And we act as if that we're not supposed to be standing upon it. And when it comes to this foolish, that's one of the points. It says that they had their lamps, but they didn't have the oil. So there was something that was missing from the instruction and them doing what the instruction was. So the Most High is showing us in this parable is that we have to be aware of what's going on. You have to understand what the Most High is requiring from you, because when he comes back, he's asking questions.
Right.
And requiring things of you. But our people, we go into this mode that makes us foolish. We hear it, but we don't like to stand up on it.
Right. The Most High is not looking for a robot. He's not looking for a clone. He's not looking for a puppet. You know what that means? That there has to be real sincerity within you to do the will of the Most High without somebody putting a gun to your head, cheerleading you, have a band, we singing. Like, that's all for church.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with singing, nothing wrong with praising the Lord. But if that's what gives you chills, that's the only thing that gives you chills and motivation, there's something wrong. What motivates you is supposed to be the change, the desire, the fear of the Most High.
Go to 2 Corinthians 9.
Yeah.
2 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 3. And just showing we're on this topic of the foolish. Going over these foolish virgins, man. Why they didn't have the oil. What was one of the reasons, is areas that they lacked in to where they weren't prepared? Why wasn't their mind in tune with what the groom wanted?
Okay.
But again, we are those. We're the virgins. That's Israel. The parable is talking about Israel, man. We got wise and we got foolish. We see them. We talk about them all the time. 2/3, but how much so ourselves, man? Because we can't count ourselves in the number. We hope that we make it. You know what I'm saying? We hope that we're doing, and we should be doing more than what we're doing now. But read where you at.
2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 3.
2 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 3. Go ahead.
Yet have I sent the brethren, lest our boasting of you should be in vain in this belief.
Yeah, and it's talking about Paul. Paul was sending out brothers to go see brothers at another church. He was sending them out. Just like we can do now. We're going to send some other brothers out here to another area to see what's going on, right? Read.
That, as I said, ye may be ready.
Right, because he expect you to be ready. He expect, when I send these bros out here to y'all going to be ready and good to go. Ready to go. It's the same thing with the parable. It's the same thing with the virgins. The groom was coming. Listen, he ready to go ahead and get his 10 virgins. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Y'all ready? Not going to do it. Only 5's ready. As we're going to read down in. But keep reading.
Verse 4. Lest happily, if they of Macedonia come with me and find you unprepared.
And find you what?
Unprepared.
See, a lot of these virgins, a lot of us, when it comes to dealing with what we're dealing with now, especially in this, again, the pandemic, we're unprepared. We've been unprepared. The Most High has been giving you everything that you need. Like the brother was saying, the counsel, all the hooray, the tap on the back. You can do it, brother. Keep pushing. Fight those spirits that's on you. But what we do, we took it for granted. You know what I'm saying? You took for granted what? The brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Now that they're shutting down the schools, what's happening? Oh. You can't have no more brotherhood.
I need to be around a brother. Brothers getting together or...
Yeah, brothers not getting together. It's lockdown. We took advantage of that before. Hold on. Sisters, man, y'all doing garments? I'm ready for garment. Sis, you didn't read that post online? They said if you go outside, they taking you to quarantine. You should have been did that. The scriptures are saying that. What happened? Read that again.
Unless happily, if they of Macedonia come with me and find you unprepared.
And find you unprepared, read.
We, that we say not, ye should be ashamed in the same confident boasting.
Why? Because you're not ready. Just like those virgins. They weren't ready. That's going to make you unashamed. And that's one thing that we do not want. Dealing with Yahushua and the Most High. We don't want to be ashamed. We don't want to be found not having. But these foolish virgins, that's what happened. They were unprepared.
Yeah, I got the definition for it too.
Go ahead.
Unprepared. It says not prepared, not ready, not fitted or furnished by previous measures.
Yeah, it says not fitted or furnished by previous measures. What that means is that measure or that requirement was already given, and you weren't at that level where it needed to be. So what happened, bro? Unprepared. Sorry, we can't use you. You know, a lot of, again, the Christianity has put in our mind is that the Most High is going to accept whatever. It don't work like that. There's a standard. The Most High gives us things for us to grow in our spirit with. The love, the brotherhood, your long suffering, your patience, how to talk to your family members, how to talk to your wife, your children.
Yeah, there's a criteria that has to be met. And he wants you to meet those criteria before you stand in his presence.
Yep.
And because he's not going to accept just how you are. He's going to cast you aside and say, flee from me, you worker of iniquity, I've never known you.
But all those classes, all those times that our brothers and sisters missed to gain that, what happened? Are you ready now? Are you ready now to apply that? No. Just like the 10 virgins. They weren't ready, they were unprepared.
Oh, I got a second definition.
Go ahead.
It says, not prepared by holiness of life for the event of death and a happy immortality.
Yeah, not prepared by holiness of life for the event of death or happy immortality. That's right on point. You ain't ready. But our people, again, when you deal with the beginning of the parable, it says that they both had the lamp. They both had the word. But what happens is that our people, we like to start playing tricks in our mind. Where a lot of times we'll say things, right? We'll be like, man, I can't wait till the Most High do this for me. If he does this for me, I'm going to do this, right? You over here talking a lot of good game. But our people don't stand upon it. Go to Mark chapter 7 and verse 6. Mark chapter 7 and verse 6. Because when it comes to the time now, let's look at it. Look at the mode that we're in right now. Y'all got to look at the time. Nobody's coming to the school. Nobody's going to the school. And like the brother said in other classes, what happens when they turn off the internet? What you gonna have then? What are you gonna have? You gonna know this book? You gonna know how to apply the scriptures? What the Most High was trying to tell you all those years? Huh? Are you gonna be able to understand what He requires from you? Understand how to deal with those next to you? The time is now. We gotta ask yourself, were you prepared or are you prepared, man? All the brotherhood, I wish I could have did this. What? You had all the time. Read where you at.
Mark chapter 7, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
He answered and said unto them, well, had Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites? As it is written, this people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Hold on. It says, my apologies. Yeah, it says, ye hypocrites. But it says that you honoreth him with their lips, but their heart is far from them. What does that mean? Our people talk a good game. You got your beard, you got your Bible, you got your garment, but what else you got? Do you have the application of the Bible? And as we're going to find out, the oil is the understanding, the wisdom of the Bible. Right. It's actually you applying that. We got the book. But when it comes to our people, what we do? Bro, we'll say, man, listen. Love the Most High. Thank the Most High for waking me up. I'm going to get with the brothers. Then what happens? Something came up. I'm not going to be able to do it. I got to go over here.
My job, my family, my wife, my kids, like something. Something other than, that's more important than the Most High and brethren and sisterin came up, and I got to go take care of that. But that's in a roundabout way. They're not going to really say that. So that's what it is. That's why he said, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Why? Because they're not showing it in action. They're not showing 1 Corinthians 12 and the 13th chapter. They're not showing these fruits of the Spirit. To show that your lips, that your actions are with what you're saying, you're going to exercise the patience, the faith, the long suffering, the endeavoring to keep the unity of the brethren together. That's how you're showing the Most High, and you're rehearsing these acts. Judges 5 and 11. That's how you're rehearsing and showing them the Most High that I'm really about what I say. Okay. But you're not just talking a good game. No, you're in the mesh with them through good and bad. We don't just come together to feast and to sup together and to drink. No, we got to get together. We got to counsel. We got to knock off demons off of brothers. We got to knock off demons off of sisters. That's what the Most High wants to see, how you love your people, how you love Him by doing those things. It's nothing to break bread and have a sandwich with this brother. But when he's going through some hardship and he wants to be stubborn, or my wife or my children want to be stubborn in their hard fixated way, I got to use this word to correct them to get those demons off. That's showing love to the Most High. That's showing love to the Most High's people. Because a small thing that people fail to realize is that husband, that wife, that brother, that sister, that child that you have, those are all still children of the Most High's. So you're still liable and accountable for how you're dealing with your brother in your house.
Yep. But when you see with those virgins, they didn't have that.
They didn't. No, they didn't exercise none of that.
Because they didn't think that it was expedient.
Right.
Again, they could have got a little slothful. But a lot of times, read that scripture again. This is what we do.
Well, had Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites? As it is written, this people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Yeah, they honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me, which means that we don't stand upon what we're going to say that we're going to do. Go to Ecclesiastes 5 and 4. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 4, because you got to see that, especially Israel, when it comes to certain situations that are detrimental, we'll start, oh Lord, I need you, Yahweh. We'll start doing that.
We the hype man all day. As soon as you see those sirens, when you driving down the street, you see those red and blue lights flashing, guess what? That's the first word you say. God, help me. Yeah. Jesus, help me. Right? Okay. They pull you over. They lock you up. You getting detained, or they taking an extra long time checking your ID and your credentials, right? That's what you praying to. You making all these vows right quick. In the day of that close butt whooping, that sword probably hitting you, about to hit you. Okay. Oh yeah, you on your knees. You sweating bullets.
Right. And just to answer the question for Rosa Ramirez says, Shalom, brother, just asking, but what if it's something important? Oh, we completely understand that. And there's not an issue in dealing with an important event or something that's like, let's say doctor's appointment, whatever you got that's important, handle your business. We're talking about longevity. We're talking about those that took years, that took for granted the spirit and the word of the Most High for years. Mm-hmm. They had the Bible, but they didn't want to come around. Listen, you live right up the street from the school, but why didn't you want to come?
No.
Why? Whatever excuse you want to give. It's not about just the one time. This is the Most High. He's very long-suffering and merciful. Mm-hmm. So the Most High gives us opportunity and ample opportunity to apply what He wants us, or to apply what we need to apply. So it's just not on one particular instance.
Like a day. It's like you're saying, like these people, these men, these brothers, these sisters had time to prepare themselves with wisdom. It's training. And the thing is, majority of the time, when you really got to work on yourself and you got to lose a lot of weight, or you want to work on your health, you need consistency. Right. And that's what the Most High is talking about. He's talking about diligence. Right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Read where you at?
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 4.
Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 4.
Okay.
Just going on this part about they honor me with their lips and the heart is far from me. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 4.
Right.
When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it.
And that's what our people do a lot. They like to vows to the Most High. And a lot of times it comes in times of, like you said, trouble. It comes in those weird instances to where you gotta, oh Lord! You get your little panic attack, your adrenaline start to rush, you think it's over. Yeah. You start throwing up these vows. Yeah. I'm gonna be closer to the brothers, man. The Most High woke me up and gave me what I needed. I'm gonna be around them. I'm gonna dig in this word. He wants me to be a priest. I'm gonna do that. But our people do what?
When thou vowest a vow to God, defer not to pay it.
A lot of our people defer to pay what they say they're gonna do. But again, it's not about, and now we're seeing that with you doing the things that the Most High wanted you to do, coming to class, being around, studying, that was for you. Mm. That was for your lamp.
Right.
You gotta look at the 10 virgins. 5 had the lamps with the oil. Right. 5 had lamps with no oil. So who was wrong? Mm-hmm. Who messed up? Mm-hmm. It wasn't the ones with the oil. They did what was necessary to prepare themselves for that day. So those 5 virgins that was unprepared, what happened? They start giving that lip service. They start vowing things, but they didn't stand upon it.
Yeah. I like how you said that it was that a lot of people come in and they're on this, I'm an individual, I'll do what the hell I want to do. But yeah, that's the whole point. You are an individual. You're supposed to be doing the will of the Most High individually. And as different cells of the body, we all work together. But they take that I'm an individual, meaning that I don't have to do what you're doing.
Right.
I've heard that before. Do I have to do what you're doing to do the work of the Most High? You have to do what the Most High said is the work. And that's what you have to know infallibly. Right?
Sure.
You have to know that without any doubt what the work of the Most High is, because that's what He's going to judge us off of. He said, lay up yourself treasures in heaven. Seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High. Mm-hmm. How are we doing that? That's by the work.
Right.
So gaining the utensils and tools and things to do the work. Are you constantly preparing yourself to do the will of the Most High? Was that a hand raise or no?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I got that definition for defer. Because it says, when thou vowest a vow unto the Most High, defer not to pay. Yeah. So what is defer? It means to delay, to put off, to postpone to a future time, as to defer an execution of a design. Mm-hmm. So what you're doing is essentially, I don't even know another way to put it, but it comes to mind like, you're treating the Most High like a genie. You make your little wishes. You're essentially doing that. You're making the Most High. You're telling the Most High, listen, if you get me out of this situation, I promise you I'm gonna spend every Saturday in Sabbath class. I'm gonna come around the brothers more. I'm gonna pass out flyers. Oh, just get me out of this situation. And then you get out of the situation, but
or let me just add this. Or I'm gonna stop smoking cigarettes. I'm gonna stop smoking weed. I'm gonna stop drinking belligerently. Right. Or I'm gonna stop hanging around with dumb people that is popping pills, doing dope, doing drugs.
I'm gonna stop being a whoremonger.
Right. I'm gonna stop being a whoremonger. Because remember, we always have 2 sides of this. You have the works that's supposed to be within, right, and then you have the works that's supposed to be without. So like you pointed out, those works are without. But you got works that were supposed to be happening within. This is all the things that the oil is would show you, and you would be prepared for, and you'd be ready. Because you're going to be ready spiritually, and you're going to be ready mentally. You're going to be ready physically. You're going to be ready work-wise. When Yahweh Shai sees you, he's not going to just say, hey, listen, did you give alms? Did you pass out flyers? Did you street speak?
Did you know my real name?
But did you know my real name? But then inside you're a demon. You got pride. You got lust. You got doubt. You got hatred. You're banging on this brother. You're arguing with this person. You're out of order. He's gonna look at this whole man or woman that was supposed to be prepared for this marriage.
Right.
Right.
So when you're deferring, it says to put off or postpone.
Right.
So then once you have the opportunity once the opportunity arises for you to come to class, for you to be around the brothers, for you to be around the sisters, you're putting it off. You're postponing it. So now you're delaying it.
Yeah.
And that's what the Most High is telling you in the scriptures. He's saying not to do that.
You're taking it for granted.
Yeah.
And it's your prerogative.
Yeah.
How about that? Let me help you out. It is your prerogative.
Bobby Brown, all day.
Right. But look at where your prerogative out of wisdom got you. Right? Look at where you're wasting time playing games, putting off from day to day. You know, your lack of diligence, love, and care for the jewel that the Most High gave you. You know what I mean?
Let's go ahead. Go to
Yeah.
Proverbs 21 and 20. We're going to jump just a little bit.
Yeah.
Proverbs 21 and 20, just to show, even dealing with this oil. You know, they had the lamp, but they didn't have the oil. But what was the oil?
Right.
Like you said, this jewel.
And we got to say this during this time again. A lot of Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters are not prepared. Look at them.
Yeah.
They're not prepared.
Frantic.
The ones that have the wisdom, the ones that have or know they're Israelites, and the ones that don't, they're not prepared spiritually because you played with this. Oh, you don't need unity. You don't need brotherhood. You don't need to go to no school. Nigga, how it feel?
Right.
How I feel to be alone.
Yep.
Right? How I feel to be alone with your disgruntled people around you, because if you ain't around a body that's assimilating themselves and doing the work of the Most High, then who you around?
Oh, you're going to be like my neighbors. You're having fights outside. Right before I came to class, they're
Right.
having a fight. Two women. Fight for who knows what.
World star.
Yeah, because you know what? Because they're all together.
Right.
They're all together. Why? Because they don't understand about forbearing each other in love, long suffering, being patient with each other.
But a man shall cleave to his liking.
Yeah.
And that's why there's that little psychological trip that you thought you was running on people online, like, oh, you don't need to be with nobody.
Right.
Negro, you're always with somebody. Either with you with your rib, you with your family, you with your household, you either where you with your work. You're united to something.
You have to be.
You always been united to something. If it was to the blunt gang, you was with that. If you was the introvert gang, you was with that. If you was the biker gang, you was with that. If you was with the Bloods, you was with them. You switched to the Crips, guess what? You was hanging around with Crips. You're always with something. So it's a game that you can't let people play on your mind. Follow the commandments. Follow the scriptures. Go ahead.
Read that.
Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20.
Go ahead.
There is a treasure to be desired.
There's a what?
A treasure to be desired.
So you gotta see that this oil was a treasure. It's a treasure to most, man. It should be a treasure. There's a treasure to be desired. Read.
And oil in the dwelling of the wise.
And what?
And oil in the dwelling of the wise.
Why would this oil be in the dwelling of the wise? Why? Ecclesiastes. Do I gotta go there? Meditate upon the precepts. Meditate upon the scriptures. Why? Get that for me. Ecclesiastes. Just showing that this oil, man, it was supposed to make you shine.
God.
Why? The wise are going to have it close to them because it showed them how to move. It showed them what was pleasing to the Most High. It made them be prepared for times to come. Listen, the end of the world was whenever Christ was on deck. They've been prophesying about it.
God.
But where was the help at? Where is it at? The book. See, but a lot of our people, the unwise, the unprepared, they didn't think that this book was a treasure, man. They took it for granted. You know what? I'd rather go watch Joe Osteen. Like, you know the truth, but you at Joe Osteen now? Now you over there at 7-Day Adventist church now? You trying to do something different? Your mind's preoccupied? You don't want to be around what you know is strength?
God.
Come on, man. But it says, read that again.
There is a treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise.
Yeah, there's oil in the dwelling of the wise. You can hold that. There's oil in the dwelling of the wise, because the wise were going to be prepared. Just like those 5 virgins that had that lamp and that oil. Come on, we got to ask ourselves, are we prepared? Were you prepared for what was going on? A lot of people, man, they go into the supermarkets. They see people in the streets, mask on, look like a movie to you. Yeah, I know the Bible talked about it though.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If again, there's a lot of classes, a lot of conversations. Even when you just communicate with brothers, man, counseling, and y'all start going into deep, dark prophecies, and you start talking about stuff like this. Hey, what you think about, man? And if this really does go down, what would you do? Shoot, I would do this and this because the Bible said this. See, a lot of people forsake the counsel, man. Right. They forsake brothers being around, sisters being around, that unity. And I say it though too. Now I know a lot of brothers and sisters are online, and that y'all in different areas. And it's good that y'all are watching and listening. Because listen, at least you're doing that.
Yeah.
You got a lot of them that don't even do that no more. They used to watch. You know what they doing now?
They return back to their vomit.
Yep.
They go right back to their laziness, slothful mind. Mm-hmm. But I guarantee during this time a lot of people are listening. But that's the point. When everything is good, when everything is fine, there's a forgetfulness of.
Oh yeah, we're gonna touch on that.
I'm jumping. Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Jump back to that Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 4, and you can start at verse 5. You start at verse 4.
Come. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it.
Yeah, the Most High said, don't be making these vows, man. Don't be telling me what you're gonna do, how you want to increase, and you're not gonna do that. Read.
For he had no pleasure in fools.
And what?
He had no pleasure in fools.
Yeah, because this is the mind of a fool. You starting to say things erratically, sporadically, off emotions, off of what happened, what event happened in your life.
Yeah. You get the corona, and then you're like, man, if you get me out of this, Lord,
right.
I'm going to give it all.
Right. Yeah, knowing the corona, you should have just got off the pork. You know what I'm saying? If you would have got off the pork, you didn't have to worry about corona. You eating all that cheese, your mucus is all in your body.
You know
what I'm saying?
Don't touch on the cheese now.
Oh, I got to. I love some of that monster cheese too, but sometimes you gotta push it to the side, man. Or equally put some fruit in it. But just showing that, a lot of people they wait till the time of danger or the time of let me get on my knees to start calling to the Most High. The Most High said the fools do that. Because I know you're not finna do what you say. You're doing like Mustafa said. Mustafa said, you pump faking. You pump faking, homie. You pump faking, sis. Stop it. Stop juking yourself. Read.
Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better it is that thou shouldest not vow.
It says do what?
Better it is that thou shouldest not vow.
Yeah, the scripture says pay that which thou hast vowed. If you say something, do that. The Most High wants you to be accountable.
Yeah, this is how these virgins were prepared, man. They were prepared because they didn't take it as a joke. They said it, they lived it, they applied it, they were about it, they endeavored in it. The scripture says they were addicted. They were addicted to the ministry.
Come.
Remember, this ain't church. We're a nation of kings and priests. Every day we wake up, we supposed to endeavor to be better priests, better godly human beings, and do the will of the Most High. This ain't just, I'm only righteous because I go to church. It's supposed to be every forms of our life. Sure. We're supposed to be taking care of our priesthood, right?
Okay.
When you go home, when you deal with your wife, when you deal with your kids, when you deal with the heathen, when you deal with your people out there in the world, every way people are supposed to see that these individuals are the light of the world.
Matthew chapter 12 verse 36. This is just to go with the Ecclesiastes that we're at.
Matthew's chapter 12 verse 36. But I say unto you.
This is Yahweh Shai talking to you. All right, go ahead.
That every idle word that men shall speak.
So he's reminding you every idle word. When you're just freebasing and you're just talking out the side of your neck, like Most High, I promise I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. He said every idle word that you speak, go ahead,
They shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
Because he has 12 angels. He has 12 angels by day, 12 angels by night, recording your every idle word that you speak and giving an account to the Most High of what you said. And you got to give an account too on the day of judgment to the Most High what you spoke. It's serious. He's not playing. You can go back. That was it.
Jump to Psalms 66 and verse 13. Psalm 66 and verse 13. Just going into this vow, man, because think about it. The 10 virgins, man, they were all there. They were there. So they obviously understood. They were all understanding that this was that time. I need to show up, but some was looking a little rough, man. Looking, again, unprepared. But what happened, man? What really happened with these unwise virgins? Read where you at.
Psalms chapter 66, verse 13.
Come on.
I will go into thy house with burnt offerings.
Right.
I will pay thee my vows.
This is David talking about. I will pay thee my vows. I will go into the house with burnt offerings. Pay thee my vows. Read.
Which my lips have uttered.
Yeah, which my lips have uttered. Read.
And my mouth hath spoken.
Come on.
When I was in trouble.
And that's what I wanted to get to. Again, a lot of our people, we start uttering vows in the time of trouble, man. Why? It's rash. It's not real. Mm-hmm. You again, like you tell your parents, you better get whooped by your parents. Oh, I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. What happens?
You do it again.
2 weeks later, you back at it. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is dealing in the same way. He don't want you sitting over here vowing just because you're in trouble. But a lot of our people are like that, man. I'm in a bad predicament. I'm in a bad situation. Lord, if you take me out of this, man, I pray to God I'll do this. I'll be with the brothers. I pray to God I'll stop smoking. I pray to God that I'll stop jumping from man to man. I know you don't like that. Our people do vows. Read that again.
I will go into thy house with burnt offerings.
Uh-huh.
I will pay thee my vows.
Right.
Which my lips have uttered and my mouth hath spoken when I was in trouble.
Yeah, you was in trouble, man. You got to see that the Most High is not down with that. The Most High doesn't want a half-stepping word, man. Jump back to that Ecclesiastes and finish that off. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, you can start at verse 6.
Come on.
Yep, 5 and verse 6, because these verses were the same way, man. They said that they were going to be ready, but what happened? They were unprepared when the time was to come. Our people are just like that, man. When it comes to this pandemic, this epidemic, look at us, man. Out here in the streets looking crazy. Again, you may have had the opportunity to make moves, but you didn't. You said that you would, but what happened? Nah, I got something else that came up. Again, it's not on us. It's for you. The Most High gave you this word for you to get your oil filled. Read.
Listen, let me say this real quick, man. So we gotta confirm this, but the comforter, the so-called comforter, he's dead.
Dang.
No.
Yeah. The most. This is the report we're getting. So, but here, listen to this. I'm gonna tell you this, and this is a strict warning to everybody that listens to us. You cannot go around and say you're the voice of God. You can't go around saying your school is the only one that got the truth. You can't go around saying that you're the comforter. The Most High is not gonna play with y'all. He's not playing. You're not Yahweh Shai. Men that will lift up themselves, the Most High is going to crush them. Now, we gotta confirm it, but that's the report we're getting. I'm gonna say it again. We gotta confirm it, but that's the report we're getting. You can't play around, man. I'm telling y'all hear these cats puffing themselves up and calling themselves the voice of God. The Most High is going to wipe these niggas out. Because all glory, all power is supposed to be given to the Most High. And his son, Yahweh Shai. Not to us. All right? We're just servants. Yep. We're ministers. And we got to humble ourselves, man, because the Most High is not going to play with this. He's done with it. Y'all see what the Most High is doing to all these people. He's not playing. Like, we've been saying this for 30 years. And brothers take it as a joke. You know what I mean? I don't care how many men I've seen leave, anoint themselves or not. The Most High showed me just follow the scriptures. Do the work. Do it with your brethren. You know what I mean? But at the same time, there's a lot of people, man, that are going to lose it. So I just wanted to announce that. Let's go back to the topic, but yeah, it's serious.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sister says, you guys must keep the laws. We all need correction. Well, I hope you guys take into account no one's above the law. Definitely. Nobody's above the law.
No, hell no.
And we're all subject to Christ and our elders, man. So we all take correction, reproof. Everybody gets it. Just because we may be teaching doesn't mean that we don't get corrected. But that's what allows our spirit to grow. And that's what the Most High has. The Most High requires us the Most High requires us to be on His standard, not our own. Okay. Because if it was left up to me, oh, come on. I would. You think I'd be here? No, the Most High has me here for a reason. So you gotta understand that. No, definitely. No, we're all accountable. You guys must keep the laws. We all need correction. We all need correction. So, just to answer that one, I had a bad personal interaction. Yeah. So, what scripture you at?
Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 6.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 6. Go ahead.
Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin.
Go ahead.
Neither say thou before the angel.
Right.
That it was an error.
Right. Yeah. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Why? Because you're vowing things that you're not going to be able to keep, and allowing your flesh to what? To cause sin.
Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error.
Yeah. Now you can't read it and be like, oh man, my fault. I know God, I said if he got me out of this predicament, I'll do such and such and such and such. It's an error. My apologies. Nah. You already dropped that out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I'm waiting. I got one.
Keep reading.
Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands?
Yeah, because we got to see that a lot of foolish, they speak rashly, man. You speak rashly. You move without understanding. Again, the foolish is what? Without understanding. No knowledge. Keep reading.
Verse 7. For in the multitude of dreams and many words...
No, did you finish verse 6?
Come.
Read verse 6 one more time.
Come. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin.
Go ahead.
Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hand?
Yeah, why? Just because of your word. Go ahead.
Right. Just with that, Matthew chapter 12 and verse 37.
Matthew chapter
12 and verse 37.
Come.
Because we understand that every idle word that you're going to give an account for, right?
Come.
He said, don't say that to the angel it was an error, right? Because the Most High is he's pissed. He's gonna get pissed, hot, right? Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 37. For by thy words thou shalt be justified.
So when you make the vows and the Most High sees it, you're gonna be justified, right? But if you're deferring to pay your vows, if you're deferred to do what's right in what you promised to the Most High, go ahead.
And by thy words thou shalt be condemned.
But also, when you don't do what you said you were going to do, you're going to be condemned. Then you're going to be destroyed. You know what I mean? It's a serious thing. You got to see that. That was it on that.
Right. From there, go to Psalm chapter 61. 61 and verse 8. 61 and verse 8. Just to show you just the mentality, man, of David when it came. Hold on real quick. Yeah, let me see that. 1 second. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 61, verse 8.
Go ahead.
So will I sing praise unto thy name forever.
Right.
That I may daily perform my vows.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, performing those vows daily. And that's what those 10 virgins, those 5 virgins that had their oil, but the 5 virgins without, what? They didn't perform their vows daily. Why? Because they were still unprepared. Think about it. Think about whenever you got that knowledge and wisdom, man. When the Most High gave you an understanding. Think about what was in your mind. What you were saying to the Most High you were going to do. But those that were foolish, what did they do? Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 7. They didn't take the time. They didn't take the mercy that the Most High gave to take advantage of it, man. To be over prepared. Think about it. When you got a test, what are you gonna do? You're gonna stay up late at night. You're gonna dig in. You got a lot of people on this Forex now that I'm hearing about. You know what they're doing on Forex? They're staying up late at night looking at charts. Why? They're taking advantage of that treasure that they think that they have. See, but we know as Hebrew Israelites, brothers and sisters, that this word is treasure. That oil that they didn't have in their lamp was the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The application of the Bible. Read where you at?
Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 7.
Come on.
Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord,
Uh-huh.
and put not off from day to day.
See, but a lot of our people, we put off from day to day when it comes to these vows. And then when it comes to time of trouble, what's happening? You're not prepared. You didn't have those attributes of the things that you want, that you knew, that your spirit knew that you needed. I need to be around the brothers. I need to hear the word. What happened? You give me a little something may pop up all the time. Or you may have an issue to where, you didn't like the correction. You know what? Let me move around. So you gone for 4 or 5 years, and now you got the pandemic here. Now what you doing? Now you thinking back in time like, dang, I could have literally been doing more work, and all hell's breaking loose right now. Why? Because you done tarried. Your spirit knows what you should be doing. But the Most High says, do what?
Tarry not to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day.
Yeah, putting that off from day to day. Israel's lazy as hell. Israel's lazy. That's why those 5 virgins didn't have that oil. They tear from day to day what was necessary for them to do. And then when the time comes, what happens? You trying to scramble around. I was just going to read into the story. We can't help you. Read.
For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth.
Why? But the wrath is going to come on you because you weren't prepared nor covered. Read.
And in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance.
Come on, man. In your security, it says that she'll be destroyed. Just showing that those foolish, they like to tarry, man. But a lot of times that just goes into slothfulness. Go to Proverbs 21 and 25. Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 25. Just showing about these vows, man. When it comes to being prepared, we say these things. But look at us. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to come to class? You don't want to get online? That I taught you how to be patient with your wife, how to deal, the counsel. As we're going to go down further about being next to a godly man. You was next to your homies. You didn't take advantage of what the Most High was giving. That treasure, that oil. Read.
Proverbs chapter 21 verse 25.
Come on.
The desire of the slothful killeth him.
Yeah, the desire of the slothful killeth him. You got a desire in your mind. You're like, dang, I want to do more. My spirit is calling me, is ripping out of my body. But what happens? Read.
For his hands refuse to labor.
Yeah, but you don't want to do nothing, though. You don't want to put in the work to get there. I'm going to keep using that analogy when you deal with sport players. How you think they became the stars that they were? Even when you deal with priests that you see here online and that you hear on YouTube. How you think they got to the level that they're at? They put in some work and labor. It wasn't just sitting at home. It wasn't in the comfortable of your couch. You know what I'm saying? Eating some snacks and chips. No, you had to get a little dirty. You had to go and strive and find out how you could do more.
Right. No, just like you said, the sports analogy. Like when you look at Kobe Bryant, you look at Michael Jordan, you look at LeBron James, right? They weren't just practicing at school. No, they were practicing in the streets, in the weather, in different weather conditions.
Yeah.
To be the best of the best. What was their mind at when they were doing that? They were like, I got to overcome this obstacle, overcome this, overcome this. So how is that applicable for you in the scriptures, in the word? You have to fight. You have to figure out. Dang, I want to study to show myself approved. I need to study to teach. I need to study. I got to know the history. I got to know this. I got to know that in the word. Why? Because that's what's going to increase you in the long run when there's a drought of the word.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm with that. Where you at?
Proverbs chapter 21 verse 25.
Yeah, drop that. Go to 2 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 10. 2 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 10, just showing that you should have stored up for the bad time. That lawful, slothful, lazy spirit, the Most High said, tarry not from day to day. Those vows that you said that you were going to do, you want to be a priest of the Most High, you should have stood upon that. You should have jumped in that Hebrew Academy. You should have jumped online. You should have started counseling more. You should have started communicating more. Mm-hmm. Even all of us, studying more.
Because if you don't use it, you lose it. And then when the day of adversity
right.
comes, you ain't going to have nothing.
Right.
You're going to be dry.
And that's, again, were you prepared? And will you get prepared, man? And the beautiful thing about this, brothers and sisters, is that you're still here. You know what I'm saying? You above ground. Mm-hmm. So this isn't just a straight slash. No, it's for all of us to get our minds right. Again, it says it's a double-edged sword. Come on, man, it's hitting everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we're seeing that the Most High is requiring something of us. He's requiring the attributes that he needs. That's what he wants us to be clean and shiny.
Right.
He wants us to be ready. Just think about the virgins, man. You think the Most High wanted us to pull anything? Accept anything?
Wow.
Listen, they try to... Okay. They ain't answer no door. Read where you at.
2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 10.
Go ahead.
And herein I give my advice.
Uh-huh.
For this is expedient for you.
Yeah, this is expedient for you. It's necessary for you. This is what you need to hear. Read.
Who have begun before,
Right.
not only to do,
Right.
but also to be forward a year ago.
To be forward a year ago. But to be forward a year ago on what? All the things that you don't have now.
Come.
You should have been practicing the brotherhood. You should have been practicing the communication. Think about it. Whenever the internet goes, what you got? You weren't the brother that used to call up and get counsel. All you got is yourself. You're going to be at home twiddling your fingers. It says before the year ago. Before the year ago on what? Unity. Understanding the scriptures. Understanding the breakdowns. A lot of people, they don't have breakdowns. They don't have the understanding. That's what the scriptures is talking about. Read that again.
And herein I give my advice. For this is expedient for you.
Right?
Who have begun before, not only to do, but also to be forward a year ago.
Yeah, to be forward a year ago. Why? That you're prepared. You're ready for times of distress.
Come.
I think about it, man. When I was in the military, and I was going through this, they call it MICMAP with the Marine Corps. I was a combat medic in the Navy attached to the Marine Corps, but we did all this extra training. You know how much training I did? Training. If anything pop off, I'm ready. Ready. It didn't matter when it pops. Listen, a gunshot, where's it at? You know what I'm saying? Somebody got injured, let me run to them. There's no second guessing. You're prepared already. And that's what the Most High is showing us here. Those 5 virgins that were foolish, they weren't prepared. They didn't take advantage of the time that the Most High gave.
Would you call it muscle memory?
Muscle memory.
They didn't have that muscle memory.
No, and that's the beautiful thing as well. Like Quadazop said, what happens when a cell phone goes off? You know what I'm saying? You can't look up scriptures no more. You can't Google nothing no more. Right. All you got is your concordance, your Bible, and you got your other books that you may have. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen? But the thing about it is that we should be storing this up, and we should have stored it up. These are the things that the Most High say that you should have stored up. Read that again.
And herein I give my advice. For this is expedient for you.
Uh-huh.
Who have begun before, not only to do, but also to be forward a year ago.
Before the year ago, Ecclesiastes 6:36, because there's a lot of old brothers. A lot of brothers that used to be in the truth years ago that end up, falling off. But the thing is, now they're realizing why times of trouble. They're like, oh God, that's Revelations. Oh, Isaiah 24. When Christ comes back, oh, this is Jacob's trouble. We've been in Jacob's trouble, but yes, it's here. It's here. Now they're realizing that. Dang, I took that for granted, man. Dang, what? Oh man, I said I was gonna do this. What I do, and I'm doing something else. That vow that you vowed, man. Read where you at.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6 verse 36.
Go ahead.
And if thou seest a man of understanding.
If you do what?
If thou seest a man of understanding.
See, our people don't even do that, man. We don't look for men of understanding. It's sad, man. We look at, especially when you deal with today's day and age, Megan Thee Stallion. Oh God, I hate that. Oh, what's she teaching? Twerking. Yeah. What's she teaching you sisters? Twerking? Huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? How to flip flop it up? You know, you got all these other Cardi B, the mouthpiece on them. Bro, they're not teaching nothing. But you got sisters in the truth that's been around for many of years. Are you calling them up? Are you trying to communicate? But the same thing's for the brothers, because it's all sides. That brother that you see dropped in fire class, you hit him with a text just to see what's going on. The scripture says, communicate, forget not. With such sacrifices, the Most High is well pleased, right?
Right.
Are we doing these things? The scripture says, do what?
And if thou seest a man of understanding,
right?
Get thee beat times unto him.
See, but this is the oil, though. See, this oil would have had you oily, ready. You'd have been looking refined, nourished. But look at you now. Look at us. A lot of our people's looking dried up, man, scared. Y'all want to got the mask on. You got the mask, gloves. I seen the video. Dude got the whole trash can unit, like he was really in the show Pandemic. Was it Pandemic or what was the one on Netflix? Outbreak. You got the tape around the wrist, tape around both wrists, your ankles. You know what I'm saying? You trying to be extra precautious, but the Most High said He'll protect His. those virgins didn't have this oil, man. They didn't have this understanding right here. That's why they were unprepared. That's why our people are unprepared. Read.
And let thy foot wear the door, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
Yeah, let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Prophecy is coming, man. What is it going to take? Is this going to take more close relations of yours, people dying around you? Huh? Cats is getting knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
These foolish virgins, they didn't care about that.
No.
They were worried about their own things. They didn't care about being considerate by having the men next to them. This is what they should have been forward in. This is what they should have been prepared with.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at just in how we did, that's how we've been ever since we started imagery. Being always around each other and always trying to soak up what knowledge is given. Because that's how you're going to be gaining being forward a year ago. Just in there.
Jump to Ecclesiastes 37 and 12. Ecclesiastes chapter 37 and verse 12. Oh yeah, because this ain't no joke, man. You know, and we can play with it. You can allow America to play games with your mind and think you're in a Disney movie or a sci-fi unit. This is real, man. This ain't no game. The end is here. They're near. And what are we doing? What are you doing? Did you take advantage of the time before? You know what I'm saying? Did you take advantage of all those opportunities? Or did you listen all the counselings that was given, the reproofs? Or did you shun it off? Did you shut your ear down? Nah, that don't go good with my spirit, so I'm not trying to hear that. But what that person told you right then and there about being patient, long suffering, would have made it a whole lot better for what's going on now. Why do you think? Again, think about it. Why do you think a lot of relationships? There's the abuse rate is skyrocketing right now. There's a lot of domestic violence. People putting hands on their loved ones, so-called. Why? Because they don't know how to deal with them. Mm-hmm. They didn't take the opportunity to learn their spouse, and even dealing in the truth, you didn't take the opportunity to understand how to deal with your wife, with your husband, with your kids, with your neighbors. Mm-hmm. Now you're out here beefing because you stir crazy. You in the house with them on 24-hour lockdown. You don't know what to do now. You're snapping. Usually you just go to work, you send them to school, you bring them back to school, you come home, you go back to the backyard, smoke your blunt, whatever you do. That was the norm. Come home, smoke your little joint, you know what I'm saying, eat your little dinner, go to sleep. You ain't dealing with nothing. You know what I'm saying, even dealing with our people. You're not dealing with nothing. Did you have the right ammo to fight that battle? Go ahead.
And you know, it's not just on work, it's not on just on taking in the word and understanding what the word says. But now you got to be around and you got to be able to exercise that. You got to exercise when you see a wife disrespect her husband in front of you, and then how he deals with that according to the word. He didn't just automatically Ike and Tina Turner and backhand her, right? No, he was like, oh, okay, you want to talk to me like that? Grab your sword real quick. Yep. Here's what the scripture says. Yada yada yada. Now you're seeing that and how to apply that in their absence in your household. But that involves for you to be around an individual to understand that's how to deal according to the word. That's how you store more treasures in your mind. So now you're seeing how to apply the word. Okay. So because a lot of people just want to have it in their mind where, well, I read the Bible all the time. I know a soft answer turns away wrath. I know how to deal with them according to this and this and this. But what have you seen? How have you seen it applied on a day-to-day basis? And that's what being around, that's what the brotherhood and the sisterhood is always been about. Because it's not just about hearing the word, but living the word as well. You have to live out these scriptures. Go ahead.
Where you at?
Ecclesiastes chapter 37, verse 12. But be continually with a godly man.
Be what?
Be continually with a godly man.
Now, you know what? I'm gonna forsake that, and I'm going to go to Galveston. Read.
But be continually with a godly man.
Now, you know what? Rather than that, I'm going to go do what I want to go do. Read.
But be continually with a godly man.
You know, You know, rather than be continually with a godly man, I'm going to just go relax in my house and just chill because this week's been very, very, there's a lot. My boss, he's been very rude to me. The employees, let me just chill.
Be continually with a godly man.
That's what the Most High said. You got to sacrifice that. Why? Because it's going to prepare you to be ready for whatever happened. But are we though? You know what I'm saying? And that's why even we got a brother in class, man. Listen, he came an extra distance. You know? Praise the Most High for that. Barakatah Yahweh. Why? Because he knows this is that oil. This is what's needed. But a lot of our people, what? We don't want to be close to that godly man. We don't want to be close to that treasure. Read.
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
Who what?
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
And that's what you need. Those that keep commandments of the Lord around you, because that's what's going to strengthen you. That's what's going to have you walking around and just looking at it, observing, and seeing the madness and understanding the plan behind it all. Understanding that the Most High has all this for the good of his people. We ain't tripping. Man, I drive around like it's an average day, but knowing what day we're in. Not a fool.
Right.
What am I scared of? No. The Most High said, be what?
Be continually with a godly man.
Come on.
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
Right.
Whose mind is according to thy mind.
Yeah, whose mind is according to thy mind. And that's, again, a lot of our brothers and sisters forsake that, man. You start dealing with your past friends just because they make you feel a certain way. Or the Most High, there was a check that you didn't like, so let me just go back to my beggarly elements. No, he said, be there.
Continually.
Be continual. No, it says the mind is according to thy mind. But why though? Read.
And will sorrow with thee.
And will sorrow with thee. Read.
If thou shalt miscarry.
Yeah, he'll sorrow with you if you mess up. Be like, bro, listen, I was messed up, but listen, let's come back. Let's get it right. Let's start working on these actions. Let's start working on you being a king. Let's start working on you being a princess. Sis, come on now, get back into the spirit of this virtuous woman. Let's go to Psalms 31, because that twerking stuff ain't where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Jump to 1 Thessalonians 3 and 12. Just looking at some of the comments. You know, I'm sure I got somebody saw us that had Easter decoration all over the yard. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. I'm stuck with, this is Lashana. She says, I'm stuck at somebody's house that has Easter decorations all over the yard. My nerves so bad here, I'll have to stay in class, feel like a sitting duck here waiting for coronavirus to hit me. Now, you good. But just remember, though, is that you at least, listen, you're still in tune, you're still in class, because that's going to be that wisdom to get that mind clear, man. But again, be continued with the godly man. That's why, you know, as we go deeper into the scriptures, you know, it depends on what is it worth. What is this knowledge and the oil worth? What is this wisdom and knowledge and understanding worth to you? Is it worth for you just to move out completely? Let me get close to this man of understanding. Let me get close to the godly. Let me be in this godly discourse. Let me get in this body. We got a brother in here right now from Miami. All the way from Miami. Came to Houston. Now he's in Virginia. Why? Because it was a treasure to him. I'm not saying that everybody got to move. I'm just saying what this man did. Why? Because, hey, sometimes it's necessary to get you out of that area. You know what I'm saying? Get you in tune to be prepared. The foolish, what were they? Again, unaware, unprepared, like I said in Corinthians. Read where you at.
1 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 12.
Because this is what being around and having oil, this is what we're supposed to do. Read.
And the Lord make you to increase and abound.
That's what should be happening. You should be increasing and abounding, not staying at the same place that you were at. You still talking about the vows that you made 10 years ago that you ain't accomplished yet. The Most High wants you to increase past that. But what did that take, though? It took you being around somebody that was going to push you. The scripture says, iron sharpeneth iron. But if you sharpen yourself, how much sharper you think you're going to get? Come on, man. It don't work like that. Read.
And the Lord make you to increase and abound in love one toward another.
See, but that's what it was about. It was always about increasing in love one towards another. And that's for all those cats talking about, I don't need no camp. Look at you now, man. Who you got to lean upon? The sad part about it is that who do you have to lean upon, man? Man, and that's a shame if somebody was talking about that. Why? Because there's nothing but love and unity in the scriptures. The Bible's saying right here again. Read that again.
And the Lord made you to increase and abound in love one toward another.
Right.
And toward all men.
Come on.
Even as we do toward you.
Yeah, because that's what it was about. It was about abounding. It was about us all being prepared. Yeah, we all are individually accountable. But we're working for the same goal, which is what? The kingdom.
Trying to make it to the kingdom.
Well done, my good and faithful servant, man. I don't think anybody want to get denied. Anybody want to get denied? Come on, man. But the foolish, what did they do? They denied this. Keep reading.
Verse 13.
To
the end he may establish your hearts unblameable in holiness before God.
See, that's what he wants. He wants to establish your hearts. What it means, establish your mind. You're fortified. You're not being moved nowhere. There's no friends that can take you away. You know what I'm saying? Even you yourself. You're steadfast. You're looking forward. You're accomplishing those vows, those things that you promised to the Most High. You can promise that to man. You're not doing this for man. You're doing it for the Most High. And with doing it to the Most High, you're going to bless others around you. Sure. The scripture says that, what is that? It may manifest. It may manifest in you. It might be in that Timothy's 3 or 1 Thessalonians. It's okay. I'll get that. Finish reading where you at.
To the end, he may establish your hearts unblameable in holiness before God, even our Father, at the coming of our Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yeah, the coming of our Lord, man. Establish you so you ready for the coming of Yahushua. Go to Matthew 25:5. Back to Matthew chapter 25. What was this called? What was it? Oh, man. Example? Idiot. I should have put it in. But, hold on real quick. Will everyone in the chat? Thumbs up.
In the words of the flesh are manifest.
No. Read where you at?
Matthew chapter 25, verse 5.
Come on.
While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept.
They all did what?
They all slumbered and slept.
Let's talk about the virgins. They were ready for this arrival of the groom, arrival of Christ, right?
Okay.
So that's right now. We slumber and sleep. We waiting for Yahushua, right? Read.
And at midnight there was a cry made.
Come on, man. That's deep too. You're gonna get into that. Read.
Behold, the bridegroom cometh.
The bridegroom cometh. Read.
Go ye out to meet him.
Yeah, because why? Scripture says he coming as a thief in the night. You know what I'm saying? He coming at unawares.
Okay.
You out here drooling. You see chariots slide, cutting through the fourth. You know what I'm saying? You looking outside like, oh my God, what is this? Oh, hold on, man, am I ready? Because remember, when Yahushua comes, that ain't it. You know you ain't just going to the kingdom. You got to go to the wilderness first. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to work out some of the things that the Most High was requiring of you. Long suffering, we'll keep saying it. In patience, endurance, love, correction. Can you take it? You know what I'm saying? You one of them cats that bubble up. I'm always right. Your flesh likes to crawl out of you when somebody says something that doesn't go good with your spirit.
Shut down that pride.
Yeah. The Most High said that they were tarrying. They came at midnight. Read.
Then, verse 7. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps.
Think about this. They trimmed their lamps. So you have 5 wives. They were trimming it. You really think the unwise, they were trimming it too? Like, you big dummies. Listen what happened. They were trimming their lamps too. Read.
And the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil.
Hold on. The what?
The foolish said unto the wise.
Go ahead.
Give us your oil.
See, and this is one thing that can't happen. See, the wise can't give the unwise oil at that time. How you going to give a man the understanding of patience, long suffering, if he didn't do that before time? You can't get this. Remember, the oil is symbolic. You can't get 25 years of what I had to go through and learn. You can't get what this sister did whenever she used to listen to her husband and hearken and shut down her mind. Just like brothers got to shut down their mind when receiving counsel. You can't give that to a brother on the spot. That's what they're asking. Like, bro, I need some of that oil, man. I know you was a Hebrew Israelite. Huh? You knew the way. I need that. Help me. Read what happened.
For our lamps are gone out.
Yeah, their lamps are gone out. Read.
But the wise answered, saying, not so.
Yeah, not so, bro.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Not so. The wise said not so. Was it rude of them to say it? No. They couldn't give it. I have what I need. You didn't prepare yourself. Come on, man. This ain't rocket science. Read.
Lest there be not enough for us and you.
Yeah, I got enough for me. There ain't enough for me and you. It don't work like that. What I have that I work for, that the Most High gave me through being around situations that He put me in, and I stayed there and learned, I can get it to you. I don't got enough. I don't have enough time. I don't got no time to explain this to you right now. Number one, I gotta get my shoes. I'm putting on my garment right now. Technically, I put on my fresh garment. Cause listen, when I hop in that UFO, Most High willing, listen, they gonna crush me. Hey, my best garment, huh? Ooh, that's what the scriptures was talking about. Okay, oh Lord, please accept me. I'm over here praying to the Most High. You looking at me like I need help, bro. You got to tie your own shoes. You got time for that. Read.
But go ye rather to them that sell.
Yeah, but go and rather need that sell. We got to go somewhere else, man. But the thing about it, you can't get this wisdom from nowhere else. Can't get this from nowhere else. Listen, you better you better find a way. Read.
And buy for yourselves.
Yeah, and buy for yourselves. Why? Because you didn't take the time to buy it back then. When you seen that treasure, you didn't buy it. You didn't invest in that treasure. That's what it's talking about. You didn't invest in what the Most High was giving. That oil that was with the wise. That treasure that was with the wise. You know what you did? Go to Baruch 3 and 12. The foolish did this. Our people do this, man. Even not only Hebrew Israelites, but the Israelites not in the truth. Israelites that's not in the truth. Baruch chapter 3 and verse 12. Whenever they got that flyer, but what they do, they crumbled it up, threw it to the side. Right. Christ is black, please. Yeah, I still like my pepperoni, nigga, please. Pork is unlawful, please, man.
Right. Now I'm trying to figure out why is the sister is she still on there? The sister Sabrina? The sister Sabrina. Why is she saying, well, I hope you guys take into account no one above the law. What was that about? What was her point in saying that?
I didn't know if it was a statement. I don't know. She didn't explain.
Right. Well, we know no one is above the law. No one is above the law. That's the whole point of what we're going over. We're not above the law. We don't teach that. We don't believe that. Like, if you watch our classes, we ain't trying to say we're above the law. We're trying to say that the Most High, that we supposed to all be doing these things. Following the commandments, following the laws, following the scriptures. So, you gotta, I'm not sure. I thought that was the sister that watches us a lot.
It is.
Like, if you watch us, you'll see how we carry ourselves, how we deal, what we talk about, what we teach. So, I just wanted to address that because I looked at that and seen that in the chat. But go ahead.
Read where you at?
Baruch chapter 3 verse 12.
Yeah, and this is what those 5 virgins, those foolish virgins, this is what they didn't have. Go ahead.
Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom.
They did what?
Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom.
You forsook the fountain of wisdom, this oil. You forsook that. For what? For whatever else you was doing. You know what I'm saying? For whatever sport, TV, whatever took your attention away from being prepared, from being chosen, from being pulled, from your time to shine. You forsook that. Read.
For if thou hadst walked in the way of God, thou shouldst have dwelled in peace forever.
Come on. If you would have walked in the way of the Most High, you'd have dwelt in peace. You wouldn't have you wouldn't have been worried about, oh shoot, let me get everything together real quick. Oh shoot. And you hustling and bustling for things. Right. You should have took the time out before. You should have took the time out to understand what communicating was, man. A lot of people got communication problems. That's why a lot of relationships is boo-boo. You don't know how to communicate, but how much more with brothers and sisters? That's where you should have grew that at. Think about it. These are brothers and sisters doing the will, doing the same work. Practice here. So when that time comes, you're not going to second guess the let me call. I got to call at 12. Let me do this. Let me make this quick call real quick. It's second nature. Nothing has to be forced. No. You didn't talk to nobody. Why? I'm the loner. Okay, well, you're gonna be alone in quarantine.
Yeah, dude. We supposed to be constantly working on these things that you know is wrong. If you deny that they're wrong, then how are you going to fix them? If you deny, if you don't know they're wrong, then you're supposed to ask scriptures, get the knowledge, and understand what the Most High is dealing with. Just think about the wilderness. Christ said He was going to gather us, the righteous. The righteous were going to be delivered out of this destruction and go to this wilderness. But in the wilderness, the rebels are going to be cast out. Why are the rebels going to be cast out? Wait a minute. So you delivered us out of the destruction. We seen the destruction of this kingdom, but then there's still going to be rebels.
Wow.
Like, think about the logic in that. Why? Because the rebels were not prepared. The rebels never got the things necessary for themselves to last. Yep. So you gotta understand why this is important, that your preparation for what's going on. This is not a joke. I remember back in 2000, when the prophecies, we prophesy. The Most High, it'll take 2 or 3 years something to happen. It ain't happening like that no more. Prophecy is speeding up. The books are unfolding. The Most High is not playing with Israel. He shall start at my house first.
That's what he says.
Did y'all get that one yet?
No, sir.
Let me just throw that one in there first, real quick. Go over there. Go to I think it's in Peter's. Go there real quick for me, because I know we only got 10 more minutes, but I just wanted to throw this one in here because the Most High is going to deal with us as a nation now.
First Peter 4.
He's getting the wicked. He's getting the wicked, and he's dealing with Esau. Like me and Yeshaya were just talking about. They made a statement that 40% of this, 40% are dying by this death angel, right? 40% of minorities. That means 60% is Esau.
Yeah.
The Most High is taking out a lot of people, right? Now read that where you're at.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High, and if it first begin at us.
Right. See, so what you're going to see more and more now is the judgment dealing with Israel. The judgment of the Most High dealing with a lot of our people. Now, you're going to have to look closely because the scriptures also say that we're going to be punished for righteousness' sake.
Done.
So,
afflicted. Oh, what's scripture?
the thing is that your works are going to speak. What are you doing? What are you speaking about? What are you teaching? The Most High is going to sever the clean from the unclean. You think you know. You know, you got to stay humble. We got to understand the will of the Most High. But death is going to start. The Most High ain't playing with us no more. He's going to start taking out a lot of Israelite camps, schools, heads, people. So we got to fear and understand that spirit's going to roll through, and whoever's not in the spirit, and whoever's that grace not covering, it's going to take you out. So we got to be conscious of this. Go ahead.
What shall the end of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High?
Yeah. So you got to see that if the Most High is going to start the judgment among the nation of Israel, and that's all the schools, all the Israelites to the four corners of the earth, how about the other people that don't believe?
How much more, man?
So keep that in mind, man.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I want you to jump to Matthew chapter 13 and verse 44. Excuse me. Matthew chapter 13 and verse 44. Just showing about, we're going to hit a couple scriptures on the wise. What made them wise? What made them alert, aware, prepared?
Yeah, you know, just like Yeshaya was telling me, he knows a brother that works in the hospital. Then we got a brother that works in the hospital. And they're saying there's a lot of Edomites. Like, it's Esau. It floods coming through there.
Oh, praises.
Yeah. But our people are in there too, man.
God.
You got to see that. So this is
You know, in times like this, I'm gonna say this. You know, hey, it's you said it earlier. You got free time. If you ain't studying now, listen, you ain't never gonna do it. The Most High has given us an ample opportunity and time to still dig in, to still do more.
Yeah, it ain't over yet.
You
know what I mean? Remember, you still breathing, right? You breathing. You ain't trying to breathe, because when you got that corona, you're trying to breathe.
Yep.
You're on the radio.
You're still breathing. You still got wisdom. You still got understanding. Now's the time. The point of the topic was to start taking this serious, man. Stop looking at this like Christianity. I'm gonna jump on the Hebrew Israelite fad.
Yeah.
I want to get my, I want to be down with a Black Power movement. That the Most High ain't dealing with that, bro. The Most High is not dealing with all that. He's dealing with righteousness. He's dealing with holy men, holy women. So we got to keep that in mind, man, because it's scary.
Oh yeah.
It's scary. The Most High. It's. I fear, bruh. With that brother being taken out like that, you know, I'm not in no way gloating, but I'm not in no way happy. It's like,
Spooky.
it's spooky. It's like the Most High is not joking.
It's like it's a reality check.
It's a reality check. It's like the Most High is. You know, me and that brother went to the Trooper program together. We were in back in 1990, but it's just, you see that the Most High is not playing. He's not playing.
What did Thawam say? He said it's a check on your mortality.
Right.
It's a check on your mortality.
That's real.
To see that, guess what?
You're just a man.
Yeah,
you're just a man.
You're not going to live forever. You don't have tomorrow.
Whew.
Where you at?
Go ahead, man.
But this is what we should be doing though.
4 minutes.
Going into the whys. You want to be prepared. Read.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 44.
Come on.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hidden in a field.
Yeah, the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field.
It should be. And it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Is it to you? Is this word a treasure to you? Like, you know, are you that person that knows your Bible is the method? You know, you're gonna go look in for the method, for the analyzing and for the questioning and for the getting better and for the emotions and the anger, like, because that's what's gonna pull you through.
Yep.
And that's the whole point about, you got to be prepared. You would be prepared for all this. We want y'all to be prepared. You know what I mean? We're in another statement the sister made on there. We're focusing on, even this class. This is not a negative. What did she say? She said, focus on negativity or something. You know, the thing is this, that this right here, this topic is a positive class.
Right.
Because we wanna show brothers and sisters, man, that you don't have to die. Right? You don't have to die. You understand that? You don't have to die. Just said, why shalt thou die, O Israel? So we're trying to warn brothers and sisters.
Before that time.
You know what I mean? Just like our elders warned us. I didn't take it for granted.
Oh, here's what she said.
Yeah.
She said, Salakia, there's been so much focus on those who don't want the word,
Why is he red?
as opposed to those who are here and to learn, and to learning there's too much bashing and negativity. Where's the jewels?
Right, but these are the Jews, you know. And the thing is this: every class we give is based on, how do we warn our brother? How do we help brothers and sisters? See, a lot of people gotta see that you might be sincere, but how many Israelites that's playing games?
A lot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we gotta warn them. In Christianity ain't doing it. These churches ain't warning our people. They still telling them, oh, we just gonna pray. You know, you try to read Psalms 91, like, that don't apply to you. You know what I mean? It's the thing is that we gotta warn our people some way. Like, a lot of our people are gonna die, and this is what we've been doing from our heart for a long time. It's about waking our people up, telling them, bringing them back to the knowledge of the Most High, because they don't have to die. That's what it's about, man. We got to see this. So hopefully y'all are understanding that these are our Jews that the Most High is dropping on brothers and sisters. It's a warning. A warning is a Jew. That's the love.
Huh.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, you got to
Finish
think
it out.
about even Christ. When Christ came, John the Baptist came, they are prophesying about the end. Listen, get right. Y'all got to stop doing that. You know, Ezekiel, through all the different captivities, you know, so it was constantly warning. And this is what they were trying to say. Where you at?
Matthew chapter 13, verse 44.
Go ahead.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field,
Come on.
the which when a man had found, he hid it. and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath.
Yeah, this man hide that, man. What that means is that he's bringing it near to him. Oh, hold on, man. Can nobody take this? Listen, I'll fight for this. I'll live for this. I want to say die. I'll live.
I'll live. I'll die for it too. Not that physically dying is necessary, but if it had to go there, then yeah, I am, and I will die for it, because I know what the Most High has prepared. But yeah, the Most High wants us to live. He wants us to be an asset to the nation.
Finish that.
And buy that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchantman.
That's it. What's one last scripture? One last scripture. Go to Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 21.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 21.
Because at the end of the day, there's always a reward. And again, you have the 5 wise, you have the 5 foolish. They had a reward. Finish that off.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 21.
Actually, yeah, go ahead.
Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
But he that doeth the will of my Father.
We're seeing that because there's a lot of our people that's going to be saying, Lord, Lord, that know the Bible, that know the Most High, right? But are they doing what's necessary? Are they building up the traits? Are they building up the attributes? Are they building up their oil to be ready? I ain't writing. That's what the book says. Many will say, Lord, Lord. Read.
But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name?
All right, have we not prophesied in thy name? See, but again, it's just like the foolish virgins. They didn't do it to the measure that they were ready for. They were still unprepared. Have we not prophesied in your name? But what were you missing, though? What were you missing? There was something that was lacking. Read.
And in thy name have cast out devils.
Yeah, in thy name I done cast out devils. Think about it. That's a check to everybody. Why? We all do that, right? We're preaching, we're teaching, casting out devils. What is it that we have to have our oil filled? This goes on both sides. Read.
And in thy name done many wonderful works.
And what?
And in thy name done many wonderful works.
Yeah, in thy name I've done many wonderful works. Read.
And then will I profess unto them.
Come on.
I never knew you.
He what?
I never knew you.
Again, there was something that was missing. And that's what it's about. It's about understanding, about being prepared. Not being like the foolish virgins. To where when Christ comes back, this is the response. Read.
Depart from me. Ye that work iniquity.
Come on.
Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock.
And that's what it's about. It's about having the Most High look at us and be like, listen, that man right there was ready. Come on up, man. Get your reward. You know, there's a lot. We skipped a lot of scriptures just due to time. But I hope brothers and sisters understood that class. And we will be back tomorrow morning. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the Sabbath service in the morning. All right. Yes, we will. We'll have that actually for you, Daria, tomorrow morning. Just for Feast of Unleavened. You can make like a little post or something. Like a little picture for it.
Of what?
Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's gonna start on the 6th. So we'll have something for you online. Sundown. So right, we'll definitely have something for you. All right. So with that, brothers and sisters all around the world, we'd like to say shalom.
Shalom.
No time for cupcake and the cutlet. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Tell me where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plane and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So